Hello, hello, hello. This is day 2 of week 4 of the warm-up series as part of the Task With Me channel here on YouTube, where we are, or rather, well, we and myself am documenting my journey to eventually be able to do a 10K. That's the goal. So if you're here, listen in. Join me in today's 35-minute walk and let's get it going. This time I'm going to start with my small spiel and we'll take it from here. Now, a couple things. I'm talking a little bit slower because I need to stretch out the time for this video. While I do have a little bit of a script today, I want to make sure that I don't have too many dead spots, and it's one of those things that I have been learning over the past couple of weeks that I've been doing this. So let's go ahead and get started here. Task with me. What is Task with me? Well, if you've recently stumbled on this channel, Task with me is essentially my way of breaking up the rut, especially during the pandemic. It's a way for me to try out something new and achieve my goals, whatever they may be. In this case, they are tasks, hence the name Task with Me. And I call it Task with Me because I would love if the community and all you listening and hopefully joining in would do the tasks, well, with me. That's my intention. Now, the first task that I decided to do was documenting my journey to a 10K. I found a really good article from a website called Runner's World. I believe it's .uk. And that's the guide that I'm following. Now, earlier on in my journey, I used to also do Reddit live videos, which frankly I haven't done in some time, which I think it's better. It helps me sort of focus on the YouTube videos, which the YouTube videos are the ones that are straight off the guide. So if you're looking to also complete a 10K with me, I would encourage you to watch these videos and follow along with me. The good thing is the video will only be as long as the walk entails for that day. For example, today's a 35-minute walk, so we're going to be doing a 35-minute video. You don't have to worry about pausing the video and resuming it at a different time, keeping tabs of anything. All you have to do is listen to my voice, and I will be your guide for the exercise that day. Now, further along, after we finish this warm-up series, we're on week 4 right now. This lasts for 7 weeks. We're going to be entering a jogging and walking routine, alternating between both. And after that, we'll probably get into strictly jogging and even maybe faster with running. The reason I decided to start this slow was because previously, when I was younger, and even maybe a year or two ago, when I would try to get into a running routine, I would start immediately. I would just get out of my bed and start running. And I found out very quickly that doesn't actually work well for me. And I imagine it probably doesn't work well for a lot of people because you're going into it cold. And starting off cold, you're more injury prone. Your joints and your muscles and also your mind are just not warmed up to tackle that walk or that run. So I started from ground zero, and that's exactly why I found this article. And that's exactly why I'm filming these, to keep the motivation high and so that the community can join in with me and achieve their own fitness goals. Especially now during the pandemic, it can get stale, your body and your mind. And I know a lot of people have wanted to start their own walking routines or maybe even running. So hopefully this will act as the impetus for you to do so. And I've even made a video last week, I believe, the first day of week 3, of 10 reasons why you should start a walking routine today. And hopefully those will give you some other bits of information as to why it's a good thing for you to do and how healthy it can benefit your lifestyle, or how much it can benefit your lifestyle. So today's walk, as I mentioned, is 35 minutes. If you started watching the series from yesterday, well, if you are an existing tasker, what I call the people that are following along with me, then you know that from now on, 20 minutes, the walk from yesterday, that will be the least amount of time we will ever be walking from here on out. So that's the new baseline, which is pretty interesting. We've grown over the past 3 weeks. and it's only going to get better and more intense from here on out. A couple weeks ago I talked about something called the FIT formula, FIT, for frequency, intensity, and time, and we have been increasing the time. The frequency has stayed the same. We do 4 times a week. The intensity, depending on how fast you're walking, I'm doing a little more of a brisk walk today. It's cold and I want to get a little bit of a sweat, so in order for me to achieve that, I need to walk briskly. And it's good because after a while, the body is very good at adapting. You don't want your body to adapt, because if it does, you'll no longer be challenging yourself, and your body can sort of just go on autopilot. For any of the people that are listening that strength train, you all know this very well. Yes, it would be nice to continue doing the same routine over and over again, because then you wouldn't really have to think about it, but you have to challenge yourself. You have to push. You have to lift heavier. You have to lift faster, or maybe you have to lift slower. There are many axes on which you can actually challenge yourself, and you have to do one of them. So walking briskly and longer amount of time will help us get there. So in true task with me fashion, I have a little bit of a script, nothing major, but history shows that I tend to do better with these. It's not very easy actually to talk 4 times a week for a duration such as this one, unless I have a guest with me, which I'm hoping to have more soon. I had my girlfriend with me on last Saturday's walk when we went to Triceps Park, and it definitely makes conversation easier because of course you can just bounce ideas off of them. It makes the conversation flow a lot more smoothly. But in general, the day-to-day of things is just that. It's just the day-to-day routine. Nothing crazy is happening, and because of that, it just becomes a little bit hard to keep a conversation going. So I wrote some notes and let's get right into it. Okay, so here's a fun one. So now that I get my Xbox Series X, I have a little bit of sentimental clutter. Who here has sentimental clutter? Let's first go a little bit into that and discuss what that means. So I tend to have a pretty minimalistic lifestyle, and my girlfriend does as well. But of course there are things that I really don't need, and while they're not really in my way, they're not obstacles, I still know they're there. It's sort of that battle in your mind. You know something's there when it doesn't need to be, and you don't want it to be. So I call that sentimental clutter. Well, actually, I don't call that itself sentimental clutter. Sentimental clutter are the 2 Xboxes I now have sitting collecting dust, and they're sentimental because I do consider myself a gamer. And the Xbox 360 that I had, I'll get more into why I now had it instead of have it. I got it when, I think right before I started college, and that was a hell of a time in my life. So there's a lot attached to that Xbox. I played on that Xbox with many friends, had really fun times. So it was a little bit difficult for me to let it go, but the person who bought it is a professional, and I'm glad that it went to someone like that instead of just any one person. And now I got rid of the clutter, which also feels good. It's freeing. I love the minimal lifestyle. I remember this quote from a movie called Spaceballs: take only what you need to survive. And in this case, I don't need it to survive, but I'm only taking what I need to live, and I don't need those 2 things sitting there. And I'm not really into collecting them and, who knows, selling them in 30 years. I don't think they will be worth that much. They're just an Xbox. It's not, unfortunately, the consoles that these companies make nowadays, they're just not that novel. They're awesome, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing really novel about them. They're just a better version of an existing console. It's not like the Super Nintendo, for example. I'm gonna turn around here because of the wind. So when I got the Series X, I now had 2 Xboxes just sitting in my living room. I had the Xbox 360 Elite Slim with 30 or so games, a lot of games, a drawer completely full of games that wasn't being used for anything else but that. It was out of sight, but it wasn't out of mind. And now I also had my Xbox One S. So I thought to myself, well, I don't really need these around anymore. let me try and sell them. So I put the 360 up on OfferUp about a month ago. There was a man by the name of Joseph that reached out to me, and I had a feeling in the beginning that he was probably going to be the buyer. He was interested, gave me a good price, but I wanted to see if anyone else would buy before I made a final decision. But today I made that final decision, and Joseph came through. I'm going to be linking Joseph's profile to the description here, because Joseph handled himself very professionally. He has some good products for any of you all that are interested. If that's something that you all would like to look into, he's focused on games, so think of it like an independent GameStop seller. He has some cool stuff, he gives fair prices, and you can tell that he takes care of the things that he buys. So I sold my Xbox 360 to him, and the sale went very well. He was on time, he gave me exactly what I needed, nothing more, nothing less. So I highly encourage you all to reach out to Joseph if you're interested in looking for cool games, consoles, or if you're interested, if you have sentimental clutter of your own that you want to get rid of, reach out to him and I'm sure he will help you get rid of it. So he got the 360, and at the same time I put up my Xbox One S for sale. In a similar fashion, I have 2 controllers, the console itself, of course the power cable, the display, HDMI. I also have a couple of games, so I feel like I have a good bundle. And because we are rapidly approaching Christmas, I keep thinking, man, Christmas is on Friday. It's pretty wild. Hopefully someone will see it, they'll take it, I'll make some money, I'll get rid of some clutter, all will be good. So I'm curious, for anyone that's listening, how do you deal with sentimental clutter? Is it something that you've been thinking about doing for a while? Have you just not made the move yet? I understand it's really difficult, don't get me wrong. Getting rid of things that mean something is not easy. But once you finally let go, it can be very freeing. So I'm very curious to see how you all feel about it. And write in the comments below what your journey with sentimental clutter, or any clutter in general, has been like. Excited to hear about that. I'm going to be going down the list here directly, and a lot of these, they have no correlation between each other, so I'm sorry if it appears very random, but it actually is pretty random and it wasn't really planned, so bear with me, but I think it'll be fun. So the next one, and I don't think this will be too long of a topic, but I'm sure a lot of you know of Review Bra, the report of the week for the food reviews. I love food. I watch a lot of food reviews, and I watch them at the worst times, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm starving and I'm watching these people eating fantastic food, and I'm just thinking, why can't I be eating that right now? I'm sure it happens to a lot of us, especially the ones who love food. So a couple days ago when I was at McDonald's getting my usual by the way is a McChicken with cheese, a McDouble with no pickles, and also a medium fries. That's my usual. It's cheap and it's oh so good. So I saw the McRib on the menu. I've never had the McRib before, and I should have gotten it at that moment, but I remember seeing on social media some pictures of how it looked when it came into the store, into a McDonald's, and it was just a frozen slab. It looked like ice. I mean, it did not resemble a McRib at all, but the finished product, the one that Review Bra reviewed, looked pretty decent, and I wonder if it's as good. He said it was good. It's on sale in the McDonald's literally right next to me, and I'm so tempted to get it. But funny enough, today was also the day that I decided I need to start eating more healthy. So I actually bought some better groceries at Walmart, so I don't want to just immediately break that by going and getting a McRib. Hopefully it lasts for the duration of the holiday season, and I could snap one before the end of the year. But it looked real tasty. He says that depending on what McRib you get, some of them may be, you know, more dry than others, but the sauce and all the other condiments make up for it. So man, McDonald's is, I don't know, I'd say McDonald's and Taco Bell are normally the ones that are the most consistent for me. I don't have the best experience with like Burger King, for example. I don't know why, it just never really sat well with me. Although I think I read an article that recently they brought back their dollar menu, which kind of strange considering I feel like that's what a lot of fast food places, they make their profit off of, you know, the dollar menu. It's about volume at that point and not so much the price. So I'm hoping in the next couple days I can try the McRib and see what it's all about. As I've gotten older, my palate has increased I'm not really sure if that's how you say it. It's diversified more. When I was younger, I was very strict about what I would eat. I wouldn't really like trying any new things, but now I'm more open to it. And I know I'm more open to it because I don't like mustard or mayo, but spicy mayo has slowly started to become one of my favorite toppings, or dressings, I guess. Sauce, I'm not really sure how you refer to it. So that's how I know that the older I've gotten, my palate has sort of diversified, and it's kind of cool. Like, you become aware of these things, you start noticing them. It's all just part of the growth process. So again, has anyone tried the McRib? Is it actually really good? I can't imagine. I mean, it would be awesome if it tasted like a rib I took off my grill and put it in a burger. Like, that'd be fantastic. We'll see. I'll probably try it out sooner than later, and when I do, definitely we'll be talking about it here and saying how good it is. Okay, so let's move on from here. Okay, workouts. What was I going to talk about? My workouts. Well, I worked out today. I went back to doing this intermediate workout I found on Muscle and Strength, and it's pretty difficult. I understand now why they call it intermediate. The amount of cardio and endurance required to be able to finish one of these workouts, I'm not there yet. So I don't particularly feel bad when I leave, because I'm just exhausted, and I try to go hard in all the workouts. You know, I'm not so much of like, I'm gonna wait to the end to let it burn. I mean, if I'm feeling good and I can get a good set or a good rep, I'm just gonna give it my all at that moment. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not too concerned about, oh, I missed today's workout or I didn't do so hot. As long as I went, that's already good for me, because to me, it's just a matter of consistency. If you're going all the time and you're regularly hitting the gym, whether it's hard or whether it's just routine, you'll see results. The results will come. The worst thing you can do is, you know, go once or twice a week, and yeah, you're hitting it hard, but it's not going to be enough to see any amazing results. So today I was doing, what was it, shoulders, chest, and triceps, which sound like the shoulders and chest thing really kind of throws me off, because those muscle groups depend on each other. If you destroy your shoulders, you're just not going to be able to lift that heavily on a bench press. And, you know, vice versa. If you lift really heavy on a bench press, you're not going to be able to do a shoulder press that well. Although I did increase my weight on the shoulder press, seated dumbbell shoulder press, which was nice. My bench press Smith machine is still the same. I can do my body weight, which is nice. That's like a milestone for myself that I've achieved during COVID. So that's pretty cool. I've also been focusing a little more on my legs, which I think I've talked about recently, just trying to do more squats and leg presses. Pretty much just focusing on those two things. There's a guy on YouTube, I forgot his name, Connor or something? Connor, no, I forgot his name, but all he does is squat. He's like close friends with Juji. He's like in that same circle of Juji and Tom, if you all are familiar with Juji and Tom's fitness channel. Oh, what's his name? It's not Connor. He's from Ireland, I believe, but yeah, all he does is squat. Like, literally, I don't even think he does any other exercise besides squat, but squat is a full body exercise, so no wonder that he's as strong as he is, because it's a lot of load you put on yourself. I mean, he's lifting at least 450 pounds, so that's not anything to scoff at. That's why I've been focusing a little bit more on just like a leg press and squat. I'm not so worried about doing isolation exercises. I think there is a time and place to do them, but I'm having fun with the squat now, which is something else that we should talk about. You know, having fun doing something. I think if you're having fun doing something and you're really feeling it, keep doing it. Don't feel like you have to change just because a program says you should change or someone else tells you to change. It's better if you can have fun doing something and really put your all into it. It'll just be better for you in the long run. So, a little tidbit there, as Eric Bugenhagen would say. Rick Delhagen, golden tidbits. That's one of them right there. Okay, cool. Let's talk about plans. Okay, plans. I think here I meant to say about what I'm going to be doing after Christmas, and I don't really know why I wrote this, but it's going to be a standard PTO, standard winter break. I'm going to still be playing Cyberpunk. Not really sure what we're going to be doing this year for New Year's. That's going to be interesting. You know, historically we have these fun bashes at cousin's house Although the older we've gotten, I have to admit that hasn't been so crazy because everyone's getting older, cousins are getting babies, you know, things slow down a little bit, but it doesn't mean we still can't have fun. So curious to see what will be happening. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I don't go back to work until the 4th, which, you know, I know it's gonna come back really fast, but it is what it is, and getting to work is good. Just make that money, man. You know, work hard, get the money, and then do fun things after you've worked hard. You deserve it, you know. So yeah, I don't really have much to say there. If something pops up in a little bit, we'll go ahead and talk about it. I'm gonna stop here before I continue on my list. So we're at the 20-minute mark right now. If you're just listening and doing your walk, you're doing great. Keep it up. We have 15 minutes left. Keep up that brisk walking speed because you want to give your body a challenge. Remember that it's all about challenging yourself so that you can continue growing. Again, 20 minutes out of a 35-minute walk. If this is your first time, I'm really glad you're here. Maybe you started at this point because you've already been doing your own walking routine on the side and you know where your, I don't want to say comfort zone is, because that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to kind of push a little bit out of it, but you know where that boundary is and you decided a 35-minute walk is good for me. That's what I'm going to do today. Yesterday I did a little break where I gave you all a couple minutes just to hone in, and I think I want to try the same thing again, so I'm not just talking the whole time. I understand in podcasts, which you might think of this as a sort of a active podcast, they don't stop talking, but I don't have a guest with me and I need to space out the topics, you know, well. So I'm going to take a 2-minute break here right now at 22 minutes, and I'll see you on 24 minutes. Keep it up. Let's do it. All right, we are at 24 minutes now. That was a little 2-minute break, just trying things out on this 4th week. I want to see how things work out. Maybe you all like it, maybe you don't like the silence. If that's the case, hey, let me know. I'm a new channel, I'm still adapting to all the feedback, but if it is something that you like, I think it could be cool. Sort of break things up, put a little bit of copyright free music in there, give you all that extra motivation to continue going. We got a little over 10 minutes left to do to wrap up our 35-minute walk today. And let me tell you, I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's because I'm just walking more briskly, but my legs are definitely feeling it. Now, mind you, I also did a leg workout yesterday, so that could be contributing to that soreness, but I'm gonna keep going along here, keep pushing on, getting over that hump, because I know it's gonna be worth it, and I know it's gonna, again, help me achieve my fitness goals. Now, talking about fitness goals, I want to talk a little bit about food. I called my mom earlier today, and I was telling her how recently I've been eating out a lot, and it's not so much unhealthy food, but I want to get back to cooking home-cooked meals. There was a point where I was going to the gym. I'd say I went to the gym maybe 7 weeks, and in the 7 weeks that I went to the gym, I actually saw better results than almost the 3 months that I've been going now, because I was getting better sleep back then when I was living at home, and my mom was cooking some amazing meals for me always. So I was getting very, very good balanced meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whereas now, of course, I'm a little bit lazier because I have to do all the cooking myself. It's not that easy to look after yourself and eat healthily and consistently. So some of the small changes I decided to make, which again, they're small, but I think add up. For example, I want to try out brown rice now. I want to get a little more into veggies. I need to incorporate more vegetables into my diet. I probably should be doing things with like broccoli and asparagus. I got asparagus, haven't gotten broccoli, but I know roasted broccoli is awesome, and it's really easy to make. Pop it in the oven for a little bit and you're good to go. And also reducing the amount of food that I have for breakfast. I'm very into the intermittent fasting. I almost kind of do that by default. Like, I never really thought about it until I heard about it, that I realized like, oh, I'm kind of already doing that now. But now my breakfast is just like 2 sunny side up eggs and some multigrain bread with peanut butter. For now, peanut butter. I got some avocados. I want to do an avocado spread in the morning, but they're not ripe enough yet. The ones from Walmart this morning were, first of all, they're definitely genetically modified because they're massive. I mean, they're not natural at all, but I don't mind. They're big and they'll ripen in a couple days, and I'll be able to do that, which would be cool because my girlfriend and I both like that. So yeah, you know, small changes that I'm trying to make. I saw this really great lunch from a YouTuber called Matt Devella. I'm sure you guys probably have seen him. He does a lot of like, oh, I did this for 30 days sort of thing, and life productivity tips. He did one about how he's able to just eat healthily, and he had this really cool idea. It's, you get breast of chicken, you boil it, you shred it, you shred it with like a fork or something when it's done boiling, and then you put it in a bowl. In the bowl you put avocado, you put plain Greek yogurt, and some lemon, I think it was, and you mix that up together, and it makes like this mixture of, it's like a chicken guacamole, some sort of thing. And then you put that inside of pita bread, and that just sounds awesome. I mean, hopefully the chicken's really juicy. I think with the avocado it will be, but it just sounds so good, and I really can't wait to try that. And I think, I mean, depending on how hungry I am, I think a whole chicken breast is probably, I feel like I've tried to do that before, and it's really filling, and with the pita it might be a lot, but you know, I'm gonna try it out and see how it goes. But I'm really thrilled to try that out because it's easy. That's really, and I don't know if it's just a me thing. I don't think it's just a me thing. You know, I think with my generation and Generation Z, we just like things to be easy. So I gotta make it as easy as possible. So that's something cool. Just trying to eat healthier, trying to feel better. It's definitely not just about working out. You gotta eat good. I think, you know, some of these quote-unquote issues, which frankly I feel great, I don't think there's anything wrong with me, but any weird readings that they have found in blood work, I really think it's because of my diet. I have too much protein and too much carbs. That's all I eat. I don't have enough fiber and other nutrients and minerals. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I will just feel better all around, and I'll just be stronger physically and mentally. So I think that's pretty cool. Something else that was really funny is I think you all know that Paola, my girlfriend, has been studying to become a web developer, and she is right there. I mean, she has a great opportunity laid out in front of her. She's about to get this job. Really hoping for her. I know she's worked very hard. I think she has it in the bag, but in the meantime, you know, she's always wanted to be, she's an aspiring actress, something that she's always wanted to do. And Joseph, who I mentioned earlier, you know, when I was talking to him about how his game business is going, he mentioned to me that before COVID, he was an actor, or that he is still an actor. I mean, he has an agent and all. He'll be getting back to work in March, but I said, man, that is so cool, because my girlfriend's trying to do the same thing. So how awesome it is that I met you, so hopefully you guys can link up and network. You know, maybe she can show you some things, you can get her in touch with your agent. Really though, I think for her at this moment, it'd be good that even if she just had a mentor, someone already that has been working, that can show her the ropes. Seems like he knows a lot about tech in the industry, so I think that's very, very cool. I'm very excited for her. I think 2021 is going to be her breakthrough year. And you know what? I think it's going to be a breakthrough year for a lot of people. We're finally going to hopefully get out of this pandemic. You know, we have, you know, members of the community now in Congress taking the flu shots, not the flu shots, wow, taking the vaccine for the coronavirus. And hopefully as it becomes more publicly available, we will see big changes in the world getting back to how it used to be. Or maybe not, and for the better, because we've learned so much about how we operate when things go bad. And all in all, how do you think we did? Did we do well? Did we do bad? Could we have done better? Well, hindsight is 20/20. There's always things we can do better, but I think for a first run, and hopefully it's only the first run, hopefully next time, hopefully this doesn't happen again, and next time we'll just be better prepared. I really think we will be. So it's good. We learned a lot. We got the kick in the butt that we needed to grow, which is what I think a lot of us needed. So that's exciting. So that wraps up the topics for today, at least on my script. I really, really like having the script. Even for a 35-minute walk, granted we did have that 2-minute break, I feel that the script helps so much. Again, without that script, it is hard. I mean, try for yourself to walk and just talk, unless maybe I'm just not having good things to talk about. But I consider myself a good talker, and I feel like I have interesting ideas to talk about. It's just hard to find them all the time. So I think this can also be an opportunity for me to maybe get better at research, look up better things to talk about. Honestly, actually, I just realized that before this, I had pulled up a list of 250 fun things to talk about, which I completely forgot about that list. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. For these last 2.5 minutes, let's go ahead and pull one of these guys up. All right, so this is a list of 250 random things to talk about, and we are going to be going through all 250 of these. If you're interested in hearing, like this video, subscribe to my channel, ring that alert notification bell. We have a lot to talk about for the next couple of days. Let's pick one and finish off this 35-minute talk with, let's see, what was the last funny video you saw? Okay, the last funny video I saw, I remember, there was this dog, man, what's his name, like Frankie or something like that. He was like he sounds like he's talking when he's barking, and his owner took a video, and then, you know, from that video there was a meme spawned. So people were making sort of like operatic videos with this dog Frankie, which that might not even be his name, apologies if I'm butchering it. Frankie the dog singing, or Wilson or something like that, and it just sounds like he's singing. It's the strangest thing. It's almost like uncanny valley sort of thing, because it sounds very strange, and I don't think I'd want my dog to sound like that. But that's the last funny video I saw. Maybe I could link to it. Frankie the dog, again, probably not his name. I should probably just stop saying it. But okay, so that's 1 out of 250. We have 249 more topics to cover on the channel, so that will spawn many videos. So again, if that's something you're interested in, if you want to see me talk about random things, like this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the alert notification bell. We got a lot to talk about and a lot of ground to cover, literally, because we're doing a lot of walking. So again, I want to thank all of you for listening in to today's 35-minute walk. My legs are beat, believe it or not. Again, I'm going to attribute it to the workout I did yesterday. You might not think walking is intense, but walking quickly can definitely challenge you. So get out there, do your walk, stay fit and stay healthy. We're going to end this video with a little bit of silence to focus on those last 10 seconds or so, and I'll see you all for Thursday's video, which I believe is 45 minutes.